What does a toothbrush have to do with standing out? That's what we're talking about in this training, how to stand out as a business coach and why. Many years ago, I went to a networking event. You may, and perhaps go to networking events. And there was a dentist there. And the dentist, we were doing the whole mingle thing. We're walking around, shaking hands. You got people that were, giving out their business cards. Some people who forgot their business cards. I'm sure you've been there before. You've seen that in some time. Some of the business cards were shiny. Some of them were just kind of, cheesy. But then this dentist, pretty clever, he was giving out toothbrushes. And it was the kind that, that had they were down in a little tube type of thing. So obviously the brush wasn't exposed, but it had his name, his information, phone number, and so on. And you may hear that and go, that sounds crazy, or that sounds cheesy, or that sounds silly. But here's the thing. That was a long time ago, 10 or 15 years ago. And I still remember it today. What's the point? Standing out is a big part of the process. It's not even about standing out of being competitive inside of the coaching space alone. It's about standing out and being competitive with distraction. It's about standing out and being competitive with so many things going on. Think about it in your own world. Think about the things that you may have said that you wanted to do yesterday and you completely forgot about them, right? Why? We're super busy. Our phones are ringing and dinging all the time. Emails are coming in all the time. There's lots of people to meet with all the time. And so you may have the best offer in the world. You may have the best process and system in the world. You may be a gifted communicator. However, if your process and how you're interacting and connecting and meeting with other people does not do something to help you stand out, the process is just going to be harder. So in this training, I'm just going to give you some ideas, things to think about when in regards to connecting with people, to making rememberable moments, and all the different areas of channels of how we do things. All right. I'm going to first start with just general networking. You're going to a Chamber of Commerce event. Maybe you're part of a BNI group. Maybe your area has a monthly, like here in the Nashville area, the Business Journal has a monthly breakfast that you can go. There's 200 or 300 people that attend that. There's other events as well. So doesn't matter which one of the events. The question is, we have to have the mindset that when I'm going to go to these events, I'm going to do something with a number of those people, certainly the ones that would matter to my business, to be remembered. Well, what could that be? Well, one is certainly a book, right? Books are still, and as far as I'm concerned, always will be one of the best things to be able to utilize to stand out. It gives you content. It gives you the ability to talk to people specifically about problems and solutions, about what you're referencing in your book and so on. And then when it's a physical copy, there's that transference of actual physical, there's something there, tangible. That's the word I'm looking for, to be tangible. And so like in our coaching system for our coaches, we ghostwrite a couple of books with them to have their very own piece of content to do this very thing. Very effective, and it generates a conversation. So books are a great thing to do. But here's some other things to do as well that can be fun and still be effective at a networking event. One is called a problem solver card. In other words, think about a postcard size of a card, a thicker hard copy or hard stock that has two problems listed on one side and the solution listed on the other. And so you want to pinpoint problems that are pretty normal, things like expenses, like cost controlling. You list the problem name, and on the back you list just a very quick, simple solution to the problem. But they're called problem solver cards. Super effective. You have your information on there. Again, and why would you do a postcard size? Remember, so many people still use the business card model inside networking, which is fine. It's not going to be rememberable. Lots of people to put those in file 13, by the way. So you want to do something that's more effective that gets you remembered. And using a strategy like a problem solver card generates a conversation as well. It's very, very effective. Digitally, from a business card perspective, you probably have seen these new style of cards. They're one of them, the company's called DOT, D-O-T, DOT cards. That is a RFID, like if you pay at a gas station or fast food or anywhere where you put your phone on the terminal and you pay it. It's the same technology, but the card has all of your information on it. So when you place it on someone's phone, so they're like, "Hey, do you have a card?" Say, "Yeah, actually, take your phone out." You take the card, you place it over the phone, and boom, pops up your information. They can hit a button and it sends their information back to you. Now, here's two things like that, why they work. Number one, at the moment, Maybe they'll be super normal and no one cares anymore, but at the moment, there's still an interactive, unique value to that. It's like, oh, dude, that's pretty cool. That's those little things that create memorable moments that you want to pay attention to. That they're called dot cards, or that's the company on that one. There's other ones out there that you can check out. Another thing that you can do is a card style that you would use, or it could be even almost a miniature booklet style. They're called future focus cards, right? That has a question on it. And the question is going to be, what's one thing that you would you'd love to achieve in your business in the next 90 days if you had absolute clarity, right? And so it's just a cool thing that generates combos. So you've got your name and information on the back of it, but you got this future question on the front of it. And it just helps break open conversation. Those conversations, those moments, oh, that's really cool. I can promise you, if you walk into a networking environment with a card that has the future focus question on it, no one else is going to have that. That's a memorable moment. Let's look at email. When you're emailing, there's other things you can do, by the way, when it comes to networking, but prayerfully that gives you the idea. There's the element of interactivity and conversation and that visual appeal. Those things help you stand out in such a big way. All right. Emails. When let's say you met somebody at a networking event and you're trying to get on their calendar, you're trying to interact, trying to build a relationship, whatever the case may be. It's really easy for most people to go, hey, following up with you. I mean, think about how many follow-up emails you might get a day or in a week's time. Well, I can promise you, those that are in the business community, they do too. Well, there's zero uniqueness by utilizing the word follow-up, right? Now, if you know somebody really, really well, that's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to engaging with prospects and engaging with potential clients for your business. So, what do? Well, you want to think about the subject line and essentially say, what can I say that likely, potentially, nobody else is saying that's going to stand out and be remembered? So that's the question to ask, number one. So that's the strategy. Here's the idea. Hey, I have an idea for your business. So if you're attempting to follow up with someone and you're looking to connect with them and you were to say, hey, I have an idea for your business, that's value, number one. It's intriguing, number two, and there's content with it, number three. I'm not just reaching out to them. Even if I'm reaching out to them to go get coffee or lunch and I want to develop a longer relationship, when I do something like, I have an idea for your business and it's XYZ. And these days with ChatGPT, let's say that I connected with somebody who owns a pretty decent sized HVAC company. And my goal was to try to get lunch or coffee with them, right? I can go to ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, met this individual at a networking group. My goal is to be able to get them to a lunch or a dinner. I want to send an email about an idea for their business. Give me 5 ideas that I can talk to them about and engage with them on that would be unique, that would get their attention. You're going to get a lot of different ideas. Quick wins. If you have a current client or of any kind and you had just a quick win recently, sharing that quick win. Hey, I thought you might be interested in this quick win I had for one of our clients, blah, 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 blah. Love to get coffee with you and so on, right? Snippets of wisdom. This is a similar function of an idea, but it's more about just content around a strategy in business, right? And so you're going to go a little bit deeper in this, but they're called snippets of wisdom, or at least is what I call them, at least. But it's value-based content when it's all said and done, right? Asking really clever questions. This is, again, part of your email strategy in this subject line. Sometimes the word, I have a quick question for you, or even I have an unexpected thought. I have an unexpected, but use the word unexpected because it draws curiosity. And quite frankly, the goal is to say something of curiosity that has value in that email that causes you to stand out and be remembered. Now let's look at the mailbox. Remember that thing, that snail mail? It works, and it works really well. As a matter of fact, a lot of marketing companies, you can probably know this by your own mailbox, have moved away for a bit. Everything was digital. They'll move back, and there's a hybrid approach. They're doing digital and snail mail. Well, when you're getting, when you got someone's address, one of the best ways, because people don't do it enough, is using a postcard style. Now, let me say this. Handwritten cards will never go away. As a matter of fact, they still are one of the best ways to connect with somebody because so few people do it. Now, if you're like me, I have terrible handwriting, so it's a slow process. So I typically would do it with the clients that really, I really want to connect with these folks. Speed and handwriting are not a good thing for me. So you have to keep that in mind. You don't want to send out a handwritten note when you've got sloppy handwriting. Don't do it. Make sure it's grammatically correct, all that kind of good stuff. But another strategy for someone that requires no opening of the mail is utilizing a postcard, even a slightly oversized postcard, thick cardstock. And on one side, you've got your information, but on the other, you're going to write just a sentence, really. Great connecting with you last week. Great seeing you yesterday. Great, whatever the thing was. Our goal here is just to be remembered, especially when you place that in tandem with calling them or sending them a text message or whatever. Getting in the mailbox gets remembered differently. But here's the trick. Using a white postcard, using a red Sharpie, going diagonal. It was great connecting with you and chatting with you yesterday at the such and such networking event. Looking forward to getting to know you. You do that on an angle, they cannot help but see that, right? And even further, on your other side of your information, you put a QR code. Could be a download to your book, could be a net training, could be some type of something or another, a landing page to your website. And those things have a great chance to be remembered. So if I threw that in the mail today, if today was a Thursday or a Monday or whatever, I might reach out on a Wednesday or a Thursday via text, email, call, or whatever. And now I've got two different ways that I'm interacting with that individual, especially when there's a potential call to action to that, okay? So those work very, very well, okay? Personalized case studies, meaning you can mail what you would actually email. And you're like, why would I do that? It's optics. That's the only reason. Because I'm telling you, nobody else is going to send that to them in a letter. Or even better, you do both. You want to get somebody's attention? Do more than one channel of follow-up and connecting. Sings and rings big time. But when you send a case study, or even if it's not a case study or even a testimonial, it could be a strategy about a business. When you put that into email form, again, using a QR code that also sends them back to something else, that's going to optically say, wow, this individual is really on their game. They really know what they're doing. And it just has even if they don't even read it. I know that sounds crazy. Even if they don't even read it, it's an optics part of it, because the goal, more than anything, is to stand out over all text. All right? How would you, if you got their number, you're going to text them, what happens? So many people just text somebody, hey, I'd love to get coffee with you, or whatever. Nothing inherently wrong with that, but again, our goal is to stand out. We want to do a few things that increases the optics and increases our prominence before we're asking them to stand out and go to lunch, or before we're asking them to go to lunch, and so on. And so one of my favorites. Let's say that I did connect with a dentist somewhere along the journey. It could be a referral or whatever. If I saw an article about his industry or her industry, if I saw some piece of content or whatever, if I saw a funny billboard, whatever the case may be, I'm going to send that to them via text. Hey, saw this, thought of you, looking to connect with you further, kind of thing. Doing little things like that sets the tone. Again, it's about standing out in optics. So many people go, well, are they going to care about that? Whether they do or not is not really the more important thing. Is that I'm trying to get in front of them a few more times uniquely so I'm remembered. That's the goal every single time. Just like email, the quick question. Hey, I just saw an article about XYZ. Quick question. Have you ever dealt with this before? Is that something that you see in your industry? Is that something that you've had to have a solution to? Whatever. So you're connecting the quick question to something that you saw in an article or whatever. And look, with Google, you'll Google any article you want under the moon. So don't sit there and say, well, I don't know where I'm getting articles. Google, ChatGPT, whatever. You'll find articles all day long. Hey, just saw this about the industry, this next year expected to rise and, blah, 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 blah. How will that affect you? Quick question. How will that affect you and what you're going through? Any kind of resource like that could be of value is a great way to link it to a text message. Clearly, you don't want to do that too many times and abuse them if you don't know them really well yet. Now, if you're getting to know them more and more and more, and there's a relationship, that's different. But here's the goal. You always want to, I don't care what the channel is, in person, text, email, video, doesn't matter. You want to be hyper relevant to them. And you want to customize that as much experience as much as you possibly can. So relevance. 2, you want to be valuable, right? Don't just do it for the sake of doing it. That's why the whole following up thing is so generic and everybody does it. And it shows that you're really not thinking that hard to engage. Show them that you're thinking. Be a proven thought leader. And the last, be rememberable and be unique. BJ, I'm not that memorable. Look, That's an excuse. Don't fall into that trap. There's way too many resources online to help you be memorable. You can Google the things and get ideas for that matter. But you should not reach out to anybody. You should not go to an event. You should not engage with anyone without utilizing the process of, how will I be remembered? How will I stand out? Okay. If you have been kind of following along for quite a while, you're interested in building a business coaching practice, but you don't have the resources, tools, systems, but you love helping people. Maybe you coach some people for free now, just an ad hoc here and there. But you'd like to know about ours, you can go to businesscoachmastery.com. That's businesscoachmastery.com. There's some resources all about our Done For You platform that you can learn about. If you're interested in booking a call, you can do that as well. All right. Until next time, take care.